So I didn't go too deep into sculpting the shells because I knew I was going to be doing this on top of it. And scribing into the surface of the shells, I like using the /3 for doing this sort of work. Damien standard or DAM standard just doesn't, it's too soft. It's good for organic stuff. It's not so great for doing sort of like deep cutting. Let me make sure I'm on the right subtool. So first I start with a sketch. All right, so I go in light, and then I burn it in. And sometimes, I don't know, my hands, I don't know if it's because I drink so much coffee or I smoke or I don't get enough sleep. My hands, I do not have like super stable painterly hands, right? So let's go to lazy mouse. I'm gonna bring up the lazy radius to affect the way the brush moves so that I don't have to have such a steady hand. There we go. And I'm only doing this freely because I knew exactly where I was going with it. But even then, it's kind of less than the other one, I think. So maybe I shouldn't break my rules of sketching first. Run that in. So the slash brush is sort of my heavy lifter, but it's not the end of what I'm trying to do. And I'll move from this in a moment after I start hitting some of the other things. So this is nice. I mean, this is something that you could probably put into texture, right? But it wouldn't play as well in texture. You kind of want it to catch the light. Right? You want that in your normal map. By the way, is there a way to draw straight lines in ZBrush like in Photoshop if you draw a straight line? Check it out. Hold on. Every time you guys see me rotate like that over and over, it's because I switch between GoToGo and like I was saying earlier. Anyways, I'm holding down Shift, and it's locked to a straight line. So it's the same thing. It's Shift inside of ZBrush. All right, so I'm going to hit a couple other little spots here, and then I'll go through and do a second pass on this. Bad Damien, sketch first. And I don't want to so much mimic exactly, because I want this to be original. I don't want to mimic exactly what I saw in those mosaics. I want this to come from me, right? So I want this to exist, at least in this project. I want this to exist in and of itself. I want to pull inspiration from those mosaics, and I want it to have that vibe of the artwork, that it feels old, that it feels early civilization. It doesn't feel new. It doesn't feel modern. It doesn't feel even, recently ancient. Yes, Simon. So you would just rotate the object and then hold down Shift to do that. And if I feel like I'm getting too bland or I'm doing the same thing over and over again, I'm just going to go look at more work and see other variations that I can play to. Right now I've just sort of been working off of the serpent. Let's see what else we have. So there's a fish, there was a serpent, there's this horse that I like, hippocampus. What else do we have? Oh, there's a nice mosaic. I don't know. I think it's all kind of. Oh, this little split's nice. I see something I like. All right. And let's go a little bit quicker with this. Go. And let's just do a second pass. Well, you know what? Let me get through the rest of this. There's not that much more to do. It'd be nice to do the variations too. At the end of this, I'll have to make it look like it's not enough just to describe this pattern in here. And I'll get the pattern in overall just so you can see how the pattern's going to look. Because this is, even though I'm scribing this, like I'm digging in pretty deep into here, this is still far from finished. Like I'll have to come in and make this, and part of the work I guess will be done through texture. We'll have to make it look like it's carved into the bone. And I'll want to think what tools were used to knock this in. Was it chiseled? Is it magically put in there? If so, how am I going to express that? Am I going to do luminescence coming through there? That piece was a little asymmetrical. That's fine. I'm okay with that. Let's do a simpler one here. Usually, if I find myself making something super complex, it means that I've made the wrong shape. In this case, I don't like what's going on here because it looks like just a giant tiki smiley face. So let's come back and do it this way. And I'll go simple. And let's do something ornate here. Look at it from the side. Go. And then for these larger areas, I really want to sell this. So whatever I'm doing here, since it's such a large surface, I want to put something nice and beautiful on there, and maybe put a little bit more thought than I had in the general pattern. How many of you guys are working on your pieces right now? Just out of curiosity. Awesome. Awesome. Aztec sun disk. Hell yeah. That sounds awesome. So Ash, how are you doing, buddy, man? I haven't seen a lot of stuff from you. You doing okay? I'm just about done here. Let's do that asymmetrically on this side. Do a separate pattern here. All right. And I'll save the smaller ones down towards the legs for after class.